I think determination and grit is what takes you forward. I completely don't agree that, okay, if you're a woman, you can't take certain risks, or you're not going to have the right kind of finances, or the entire myths that are surrounded with women entrepreneurship. I don't buy that.
Hi, and welcome you all to Sustain to Scale series. Today we have with us Deepanjali, the founder and CEO of the homegrown personal hygiene brand Heyday, that brings natural, sustainable, and safer personal care to Indian marketplace.
Thank you so much for having me, Anuj.
Tell us about Heyday and what this brand stands for.
So I decided to quit my cushy job in New York and move back to India and explore the feminine hygiene space, which I thought had a huge potential for disruption. I dabbled with kind of laboratories and research and initial preliminary discussions with scientists to understand the market and also understand its offering. And I realized that it was a very monopolized segment. After 2 years of research, building and unbuilding, we came out with our first prototype of sanitary napkin. That is our first product, all natural, biodegradable, and super soft and comfortable on a woman's skin. So unlike its synthetic counterparts from the big giants, these products were free from any kind of plastic, no polymers, no perfumes, bleaches, any of the harmful stuff. And instead of decomposing in 500 years and polluting the environment tirelessly, our products broke down naturally within 2 years of disposal. So it's better for your body and for the planet. And that's what Heyday kind of brings. It essentially means, in my heydays, I was fit and healthy. So basically means in your prime. And we want every customer using our products to feel like they're on their prime. And yes, it's been 3 years now, and we've scaled to about 3.5 lakh women pan-India. And it's upwards and onwards from here.
The Heyday product were first hit the market, or they were first launched in October of 2017. Now, reflecting back, how has been your journey so far? Any milestone, any achievements that you would want to highlight or talk about?
And I think being a woman entrepreneur in India is a challenge on its own. And people just look at you in a different light, and especially taking on the big players. It was a risky move, but I thought there was, low-hanging fruit there. And I think there was an unmet demand with the Indian consumer. And the consumer was ready, they were ready to accept in innovation, disruption. Initially, when we used to approach stores, they used to say that it's a new brand, we cannot take a risk because the movement is going to be very slow. The offtake will be very slow. But we had to get our foot in the door. We had 2 or 3 chains kind of trust us. And when that took off, then a lot of the other stores kind of said, okay, it's taking off. There is a demand. People are buying these products, and let's put our bet on it as well. And when we launched, Anuj, back in 2017, we were completely unsure. So I did not have a background in consumer products. I had interned with Coca-Cola, a very short summer stint. But it's not that I had, 10 years of experience with FMCG or had that kind of backing. We started off in the offline channel. Interestingly, most, entrepreneurs just choose to go online, and e-commerce is the only way. But, with our kind of products, we thought it was interesting because accessibility is so important. You get your period or your baby needs a diaper, you're not going to wait for a package to arrive maybe 2 or 3 days later. So access is very important in this segment. We started, in offline stores, organic stores, large format chains, and just by placing the product, we saw that it was moving. Very minimal marketing spend. My business is completely bootstrapped. We have not raised funding till date because we've been able to sustain ourselves and really grow organically with early adoption.
And well, you started from, and I would say more on the ground available product within the reach. But off late, and this is more towards, I would say, about last few months, the consumer buying behavior has shifted tremendously, right? After COVID-19 impact, more apparent in the personal hygiene, right? And are you seeing this impact as a virtual shift, a boom or a bane for your business?
So I think there's a paradigm shift there, and we kind of capitalized on that as well. 70% of our business comes from online channels and about 30% from offline. We service about 3,500 pin codes pan India. We're in a large number of stores across various e-commerce channels and aggregator sites, and have really grown. But yes, there is definitely a huge boon by being available to the right customer online. And, even in terms of targeting the customer, online transactioning or online presence makes it so easy for the customer to identify you and you to identify the customer.
The personal hygiene market in India is expected to be about $15 billion by 2023. So how are you scaling up to take a larger pie over there?
The market not only for personal care, but also the organic and sustainable personal care. After we came in as a challenger brand to kind of introduce this niche within feminine hygiene or baby care, this organic and natural segment has also grown. So overall, the entire market is seeing a big, it's not only Heyday that is growing or any other brand that is growing. All of the brands entering this segment are growing together. And that's definitely a positive, because that means that the Indian women's psyche or perspective is changing and evolving and being more open to accepting new products. E-commerce is something we're really looking at in a big way, because we see a huge potential in kind of driving more sales and introducing new innovative products on the e-commerce space. And that's where I would say we're kind of spending to educate the consumer in the right manner about their personal care and really help them adopt better practices and better products for their personal hygiene.
Where do you see banks like us come and help you in your journey to scale?
So I think banks with easy access to loans or extended paybacks, or even providing, say, consulting on and investments for new startups, women-led startups, it can just make it so easy for an individual to take up the entrepreneurship route and scale at the level they really want to and have the potential to.
What are the 2 or 3 top things or key things that you would want to tell them how they can build consumer business ground up?
I think the D2C space or the consumer space is gender agnostic. And I think it's just about reinventing the wheel. So I think number one, innovation. Bring in innovative practices to the forefront and constantly think of how you can reinvent the wheel. The consumer is constantly learning. They're constantly evolving. So you have to be ahead of the game to kind of tap into the right market in terms of consumer. Number two would be consistency. I think in terms of product quality or in terms of what you bring, whatever you bring, whether it is a product or a service, you have to be extremely consistent with delivering the best kind of quality to your end user. Because after all, we believe that consumer is queen. Number three would be the grit. I think determination and grit is what takes you forward. I completely don't agree that, okay, if you're a woman, you can't take certain risks, or you're not going to have the right kind of finances, or the entire myths that are surrounded with women entrepreneurship. I don't buy that.